Good day, markers. I'm the senior teacher for grade 11 English at UCT Online High, and this quick video is to address the second version of the Paper 2 grade 11 English exam. So just a few things, and these are friendly reminders. We appreciate everything you do. Please just read through all instructions. They are put there to assist you. Please make sure, of course, that you've read through the question paper incredibly carefully. And also, you do need to be familiar with all of the literary texts being assessed in this paper, because it is borderline impossible to ensure that every potential answer that is valid is included in the marking guide. And that's why, as the marker, you do need to have a very firm grasp of that literature. All right, so we're going to look at two questions which might prove a little tricky. The first one is question 1, which is a non-compulsory essay question based on poetry. And essentially what learners need to do is link the idea that this is an atypical love poem, atypical, with the way that the poet has used diction and imagery. So for both diction and imagery, they've got to give concrete examples from the poem, which are then addressed in light of this is not a typical love poem, it's a subversion of a typical love poem. So with the points provided, it says use the following points. Please note, learners aren't expected to include all of these. They don't have to write this much, bearing in mind their word count, but also there are valid options they might provide which might not appear here. So you do need to take that into account, and this is where markers' discretion comes into play. And just to look at the last two bullets on the guidance to the markers, please under each question really read through this information in the yellow block. It has been put there to assist you and to make your marking process a lot easier. So just to look at the last two. For this poetry essay, question 1, only award a mark from the skillful or exceptional ranges, which you can see here at the higher end of the scale, for both content and language and structure, if the candidate has managed to address the unusual nature of the sonnet as a love poem through an exploration of diction and imagery. So then I've included with examples what that actually means in a tangible sense. If we look at the final bullet points, you are of course using the provided rubric to assess this, but please note it's very rare that learners will get marks awarded from the elementary or inadequate categories because they are very, very low. It's a good idea to look at what the percentage is for the marks awarded per category under, the entire thing, contents out of 6 total. So if you look at inadequate, what is 1 out of 6 in percentage? It's unbelievably low. So we've got to bear that in mind because, of course, the pass rate is 40%. So it'll only really be the case that learners get marks from these two really low categories if they only address the poem a few times, so they barely even mention the poem. They don't engage with the topic provided at all. There's no structure to their essay. Maybe it's just one long paragraph. Maybe there's points from all over. There's absolutely no logic to the arguments. And or the language use is very poor. So there are major errors in every sentence. Okay. Then just looking at a related question, and as I scroll past, you can see some questions have more than others. Some have a few, some have lots, but basically all of this guidance is there to just provide you with additional alternate options for the answer or just to guide you on how to mark it. So please read through those. They're very, very important. And please don't think that the answer provided at the top in orange is the right answer or even the ideal answer. It's one of the answers. And there are alternative ones in almost all of the guidance to the marker squares underneath the answers. So just to go through to question 7, which is the essay, and this is compulsory and it's on Macbeth. The topic requires learners to essentially comment on the validity, meaning how true is the statement. And the statement is that the supernatural played an enormous role in Macbeth committing the murder of King Duncan, which of course leads to his downfall. Please note that when we talk about downfall, it could be a reference to his loss of reputation and the rise of tyranny in Scotland, or it could be a reference to his death, but downfall doesn't have to mean death. So most learners will probably give a mixed response, which is absolutely fine. They need to show an understanding of the connection between the supernatural and his downfall. All right, so again, the points provided are not all are required in the answer. Other points might be provided by the learner. Of course, wording will differ dramatically. So these are guidelines. And again, as per the poetry question, we are, of course, dealing with a different rubric, but the categories are the same. Only award a mark in the skillful or exceptional ranges if the learner comments on the role of the supernatural in Macbeth's downfall and provides substantiation from the play in the form of evidence and explanations. And again, please note that a learner will only get a mark awarded from the elementary or inadequate categories on the very rare occasion if they only address the play a few times, 1 to 3 times. They don't engage with the topic at all. They write about their own topic. There's absolutely no structure. Language use is very poor, to the point where it actually impedes meaning. So it's also a good idea to just get really familiar with this marking guide and have an idea in your mind of what each category amounts to as a percentage, what each category actually requires of the learners. So thank you for everything you do, and absolute best of luck with the marking.